Tonight, as South Australia enters a new phase of restrictions, one local MP calls for a rethink in regional areas, and filling jobs the focus of a seminar in Port Lincoln.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. South Australians woke up to new COVID-19 restrictions this morning, following concerning outbreaks interstate. But one country MP says the regions have suffered enough, calling for the state government to come up with an exit plan.
Just when we thought we were in the clear, a new wave of restrictions sweeps the state. The Portside Tavern is one of many businesses affected by new density caps, which the owner says is another hit to the hospitality industry.
Very disappointed. I know health and safety is the number one priority. We do have no COVID in South Australia, and to have our business restricted once again, it's going to be tough.
His frustration backed by the member for Narunga, who says regional areas have suffered enough, calling on the state government to develop an exit strategy.
I think it's time now to develop a plan so that we can chart our path going forward, and small businesses in regional communities can have some certainty about what it will take to revoke the state of emergency and get back to normal life.
The Health Minister defending the government's decision to make a preemptive strike.
Country South Australia is only one day away from a COVID outbreak. We saw with the COVID border breaches, we saw with the Granite Island mines that every part of Australia is threatened by COVID.
Sport will continue this weekend, with the Spencer Golf Football League following the new orders.
We've operated football both last season and this season under a COVID-safe environment. So the latest restrictions aren't going to impact us greatly.
While the Port Augusta races are also going ahead as planned, the event a highlight of the local social calendar.
Consumption of food and beverages, people were required to sit down, and also the square meterage has changed for indoor spaces. However, the racecourse is well set up. Restrictions are expected to be in place for at least the next week. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Nautilus Arts Centre played host to Port Lincoln's first ever job market yesterday afternoon. Businesses gathering from around the region, hoping to address a worker shortage that has the potential to cripple their ability to operate.
Addressing a desperate need for workers in the region. 20 businesses from Port Lincoln and the Eyre Peninsula coming together to showcase their company to potential employees.
And it's been a really good opportunity to bring, both the supply and demand side together.
Local businesses crying out for new employees. More than 600 jobs are currently available on the lower Eyre Peninsula.
There's a huge number of opportunities, but we think it's really important for job seekers to make that real personal connection with employers, and for employers to make that personal connection with job seekers as well.
The day proving successful for some.
We've been pretty successful in getting a full-time person today.
Businesses ecstatic at the amount of people that handed in their resumes.
Yeah, been inundated, to be honest. Overwhelming support. A lot of people out looking for work, which is really good for us because we can get some really motivated people in and join our team.
Event organisers pleased with the turnout. Around 400 people going from booth to booth throughout the event.
The employers are saying that it's been great to, sort of speak to the job seekers face to face and really sort of get a sense if people are the right fit for their business.
Job markets are planned for Whyalla and Port Augusta later this year, while event organisers are hoping to return to Port Lincoln.
People who walk through the door that are quite employable, very employable, and I really hope that they find their goal.
Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Another MRI machine has officially opened in Broken Hill, with operators hoping locals will be able to receive quicker treatment. But patients wanting to be bulk billed still need to leave town for an exam due to federal government red tape.
An MRI machine that's hoping to change the way patients are treated in Broken Hill.
There are certain conditions that are necessary to be investigated by an MRI scan, and before now they had to travel out of town. The GP Super Clinic officially opening its new facility. This 3T machine said to provide clearer images than some other types of MRI.
It has a 71 centimetre bore of a narrow width, which makes it much more convenient for those people who are claustrophobic.
Operators say having a machine here will make life a little easier for those who need it.
The border closures has really brought it to a brighter light to let us know that we have to try as much as possible to be self-sufficient in the city.
2 new MRI units have recently opened here, but neither can bulk bill, both unable to get the required licence from the federal government, which can only be applied for during specific windows.
Until then, it's out of pocket for patients, but it is meant to be a choice for the patients to either travel out now or at least stay in town.
Member for Parkes Mark Colton says he's lobbying the Federal Health Minister for a local MRI licence. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Police say a driver allegedly involved in a pursuit in Broken Hill hit and killed 2 kangaroos while attempting to escape officers. Police tried to pull over the vehicle on Morris Street around 10:30 on Friday night. The driver allegedly failed to stop, accelerating onto Whitaker Street and hitting the kangaroos. Police calling off the pursuit after the vehicle went onto a dirt track.
The vehicle's only described as a white Land Cruiser, no identifying marks on it, but certainly would have suffered some damage after colliding with the 2 kangaroos.
Anyone who spots a vehicle matching that description should contact Crime Stoppers. Still to come tonight, Broken Hill police on the hunt for more than 50 stolen goods, and local volunteers recognised for their dedication in Port Pirie. Welcome back. Police say the alleged theft of goats from a stockyard in Broken Hill is a serious matter, with the culprits facing heavy penalties. Specialist rural crime investigators are now looking into the incident. Lachlan Itter has the details.
Police say 86 goats were stolen from stockyards on Pinnacles Road over the weekend in what's believed to be a coordinated theft.
To move 86 goats takes an effort. You need a light truck or some moving equipment.
The alleged theft taking place sometime over the weekend, with police saying it would have required planning as well as a place to store the animals.
Our rural crime investigators, they're detectives that specialise in rural crime, property stock theft, will investigate this matter.
With goats selling for anywhere between $150 and $200 a head, the total loss quickly adds up. Police say goats can be registered and therefore tracked.
Someone's handed over thousands of dollars to purchase those goats. They are a good commodity at the moment, and that's people's livelihood. Someone's at a significant loss.
And while it may be easy to kid around with goat thefts, police say crimes like this one are no laughing matter.
People need to understand that this is a serious offence, both entering someone's property and it's stealing people's cattle and property. It's their property and it carries significant penalties.
Anyone who may have seen a vehicle nearby between midday on Saturday and 10 a.m. on Sunday is asked to contact Crime Stoppers or the local police station.
A chemical warning alarm has triggered a hazmat response by emergency services. Multiple fire and rescue trucks called to the Broken Hill Regional Aquatic Centre yesterday after an alarm inside a chemical storage area was activated at 9:30 yesterday morning. Crews with hazmat suits and gas detectors entered the room used to store chlorine and quickly determined it was a false alarm. Firefighters praising staff for quickly and safely evacuating the building. 3 Port Lincoln seafood companies are among 20 South Australian businesses to share in $1 million of funding. The local businesses are the first recipients of the state government's Global Expansion Program, aimed at boosting local exports.
A handy catch for these Port Lincoln businesses, all 3 receiving financial support from the state government.
This is the way where they can really accelerate their export growth plans, either into existing markets or, importantly, diversifying into some of our near neighbours as well.
Angel Oysters Australia, Dinko Tuna Farmers and Eyre Peninsula Seafoods sharing in the first round of funding.
Helping hand from the government to actually really promote our product over in our export markets.
The money coming from the Global Expansion Program, which is designed to support local exporters.
It's fantastic support from the South Australian Government in letting Angel Oysters accelerate our export program.
Also ensuring they remain competitive on the international market.
Expand my export market into Southeast Asia, Middle East and USA.
The Minister encouraging those interested to apply for the next round, which is open until the 23rd of August.
Try to grow their business through export, because if South Australian businesses are growing, it means that's creating jobs, and that's what we want to have.
More information can be found on the Department for Trade's website. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Dedicated volunteers have been recognised for their contribution to the wider Port Pirie community, presented with a Premier Certificate at a ceremony yesterday. Mayor Leon Stevens says it's important to acknowledge those who give back.
Recognising our volunteers.
If you ask the people that got the recognition, they'd say they don't need the recognition. But for us, these are the people that actually are the salt of the earth in our community.
It's a surprise, but I'm glad that whoever nominated me for it, so yes, I suppose it's a privilege to get something like that.
Robert has spent 3 decades giving back to the community in the Country Fire Service.
It's amazing to be recognised for something that you love to do and you do in, day out, and don't expect anything different. So yeah, it's a real honour to be recognised for it.
He says he's honoured to be acknowledged.
At the end of the day, when you can walk away from an incident and someone just says thank you, that's the biggest reward you can get.
During the Kangaroo Island bushfires, Port Pirie rallied behind Harrison Kent, a young local who put out a call for help on Facebook. Harrison collected medical supplies and travelled to the island to assist with animal recovery.
A bit shocking seeing just the destruction of the fire over there compared to other fires I'd seen. It was just like nothing else. But I was glad that I could help out in a small way.
The Deputy Mayor accepting the certificate on behalf of Fred Sandanis.
Fred's one of our unsung heroes in the community, just like the rest of these folk. And I'm serious about that because the whole group do an amazing amount of work in the community.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. A state government minister gets up close and personal with Whyala's cuttlefish. And Port Augusta's parkrun celebrates a new milestone. A state government minister has gone beneath the Spencer Gulf today to help mark the beginning of Whyala's Cuttlefest. David Basham going to new depths in his role, having the opportunity to swim with the well-known but mysterious creature.
Taking a dive in the deep end, the Minister for Regional Development getting to know Whyala's famous cuttlefish.
Certainly something I don't do very often is get in the sea, but certainly something that I really am hoping to enjoy, and a lovely day for it here in Whyala.
David Basham, one of many people visiting the Steel City as part of Cuttlefest celebrations. He says it's important the regions can thrive during uncertain times.
Tourism locally is so important with people not being able to go overseas. People are able to get out and enjoy what's in their local environment.
With the state borders closed to interstate travellers, Mr Basham emphasised the need for South Australians to explore their own backyard. Despite preemptive COVID restrictions being put in place, he's confident there won't be too much of an effect on the regions.
We certainly need to make sure that we do everything we can to minimise the risk of transmission and make sure people follow what's required of them.
He's calling on people to be safe while visiting South Australia's regional and rural cities.
Our economy needs people out in the regions to be supporting those regions.
Hoping locals will dip their toes in the water and enjoy these unique animals. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Colourful outfits and crazy costumes were the feature of the latest Port Augusta Parkrun held over the weekend. Runners dressing up in order to mark a special occasion, with the club celebrating their birthday.
It's hard enough posting a good time, but imagine trying to do that in clown shoes. This week, Port Augusta's Parkrun adding a touch of colour to their meet as they celebrated their 3rd birthday.
I walked the first little bit. I was trying to take it a bit easy, but yeah, once I got on the flat, it was just too tempting to just try and run a bit. So it's all right. Got my sneakers on underneath.
Witches, penguins and fairies join the weekly ritual that sees gatherings of up to 70 runners take on the 5-kilometre circuit.
It's a really great way to start the weekend, I think, especially on a day like this.
Some choosing to walk, while others tackled the course at a quicker pace. Members say the inclusive environment keeps them coming back each week.
It feels fantastic that we're celebrating our 3rd birthday today. We've had, COVID was a challenge for everybody, but we're happy that we're still running, the community's still really welcoming of our event, and everyone still loves to come out on a Saturday morning, so it's fantastic.
With 402 parkrun communities across Australia, some of this week's competitors have travelled to join in on the celebration.
The aim of parkrun is encouraging physical movement, obviously, to try as part of a healthy lifestyle, but also just the social cohesion and part of a community that looks after each other and cares for each other and sees how they are on a weekly basis.
New members are welcome to attend the next run this Saturday. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
It's now time to take a look at the results for sports that happened across the region over the weekend. With all the details in netball, soccer and tennis, here's Mark Zita with the Weekend Wrap.
It was a beautiful weekend weather-wise with calm and sunny conditions. The region's netball, soccer and tennis players took advantage and were out in force. In the Whyalla Netball Association, True Blue Netball defeated YCW 43 goals to 34. And it was a tight match between the Warriors and the Ravens, with the away side edging out a 3-goal victory. Moving across the Spencer Gulf to Port Pirie, Blue Wren easily defeated Port 41 goals to 13, while Solomon Town were too strong for Central Risdon in their 29-goal victory. The A1 Intersport Player of the Week was awarded to Blue Wren's Cara Feibig. In Port Augusta, and Corn played the Magpies in that association's only A-grade match of the day. The home team taking a 14-goal victory over the visitors. Turning to soccer now, and the Northern Demons were defeated by Cove FC in a 5-3 loss at the Cove Sports and Community Centre. Their next game will be against Modbury Vista at Burn Park. While in the Amateur Soccer League, Savoy remain in second place in the Sunday Division 2 League. The Port Pirie side cruising to a 3-0 win over Plimpton. Their next match a big one, away to ladder leaders WA Raptors. In Port Lincoln Soccer, the Knights defeated South Coast 3 goals to 2. Marcus Vivian, the leading goal scorer of the day, while the Lincoln City Raiders had a day out against the Secol Masters. In Whyalla Soccer, Steel cemented their place at the top of the table with a win over Wanderers, while Croatia thrashed Lions. Finally, in the Broken Hill Tennis Association's Grand Final, Patrick Roinke defeated Matt Hanberg 7-5. That's it for this week's Sports Wrap. If you would like your team to be featured in our bulletin, let us know through our Facebook page.
Stay with us after the break. A new mural celebrating Aboriginal history unveiled in Port Augusta. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. A new mural celebrating Port Augusta's Indigenous community has been unveiled. Located on the east side foreshore, the piece titled My Country represents the meeting grounds of all Port Augusta tribes past and present. The mural was painted by local artists Caitlin and Candice from Ashawara Designs, with funding for the project supplied by Oz Minerals. Organisers say they hope the mural will teach the younger generations to keep their culture strong. Time to check how our local weather is shaping up for the rest of the working week. With the latest forecast, it's good evening to Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. A beautiful sunny day right across our region today, but those conditions aren't expected to stick around all week. More detail on that later in the bulletin. From 3 p.m. today, Port Augusta topped 18 degrees, Port Lincoln got to a high of 16, and Clare reached 14 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Whyalla, Woodner, Port Pirie and Cooper Pedy all 17, Broken Hill, Kadina, Adelaide and Cleve all 16, Coffin Bay, sunny and 15. Taking a look at the satellite image now, patchy high cloud over the far southeast with northerly winds is not producing any rain. Cloud in the west with an approaching front is not rain-bearing. Skies are clear elsewhere under a ridge of high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 to 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell around 1 metre. Showers across parts of the Gulf tomorrow. Port Lincoln and Cleve both set to reach 16 degrees. Woodness set to reach a high of 17. Whyalla partly cloudy 19. Port Augusta mostly sunny, also 19 degrees. And Kadina a possible shower and 16 degrees. Port Pirie partly cloudy and Broken Hill as well, both 17. Clare also partly cloudy to top 14 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, partly cloudy across most of the Gulf on Thursday. Showers in Port Lincoln and Adelaide. Temperatures set to be in the mid to high teens. Showers across most of the Gulf on Friday, partly cloudy for Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill. Temperatures slightly cooler in the mid to low teens. And a sneak peek at the weekend now, and the rainy conditions are looking to clear across most areas on Saturday. Showers for Port Lincoln and Adelaide, partly cloudy across everywhere else, and temperatures to be in the low to mid teens. That's all the weather for now. I'll see you soon with an update. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and Ruby Kimane will be with you in the chair tomorrow night from 7 p.m. Until then, have a great evening. Good night.